Everybody do me a favor. Put down in the comment section, Jack Boot Thug Pig, JBTP. Just pop it in there. JBTP, Jack Boot Thug Pig. You can hashtag that ish if you want to. And then hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Sit down. A tale as old as time. Police officers getting brainwashed by the misinformation their departments peddle in.
Look at the lack of care that cops do to people. Like, I guarantee you this, unless that's a copper, it's not going to go well. It's a copper. It's a copper.
once.
47. She's ODing.
The cops overdosed on heroin or meth. I don't know which one.
Narcan.
I need the Narcan for the cop in full uniform.
While it's obvious that Officer Courtney Bannock is undergoing a medical emergency, it's not a drug overdose like her or the other officers think it is, but rather the result of proven misinformation that has been spread by police departments, the DEA, and Republican politicians.
A counselor found, this is in junior high, a counselor finds it. As the police officer going there, they have to call a paramedic because the counselor didn't take a pill, but he started to OD because what absorbing.
And now the people of China and Mexico are dressing fentanyl up to look like candy. So I want you to be very vigilant when you're taking your kids on Halloween, because that was a new war in town.
What? Why would they waste fentanyl on killing kids? I've never heard of that before. What? What is that nonsense? I mean, just stop. You lying. You're absolutely just making things up. That's garbage.
And that war is China.
Just last month, 2,000 pounds of fentanyl came across our border. That could kill 500 million people. We're coming into Halloween. Every mom in the country right now is worried. What if this gets into my kid's Halloween basket?
You're talking about the rainbow
fentanyl.
Get that.
What? Hold on a minute. I mean, I thought that drug dealers were in the business of dealing drugs to make money. I thought drug dealers were trying to make money. Why would they be divvying out their money to the kids in their Halloween buckets? So let's take fentanyl, for example, which nobody endorses. Nobody endorses fentanyl. Nobody endorses doing fentanyl. Nobody does. Nobody. Why would you? It's ridiculous. So it doesn't matter how harsh a penalty you make for it, though. That won't matter. It won't deter anybody. Nobody will be deterred because there's a bigger penalty. That won't change their behavior at all. It just won't. That's not going to change their behavior. They will not change their behavior because of you creating a bigger penalty for fentanyl. That won't work. I wish it would. I would endorse it. I would back it up. I would campaign with you. I would walk the streets with you saying, yes, make this the death penalty for having this. It won't change anything. You'll just kill a bunch of people and the fentanyl problem will continue. So I don't understand why they're just sitting here just lying.
Get that candy home and wisely go through it. I can remember my mother doing it when I was a child.
And your mother was paranoid and ridiculous, like you are.
There were other fears of razors and
Razor
apples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so just real quick, if you think about a razor blade and an apple, just real fast, okay? What a horrible idea, right? If you bit into a razor blade. Now, real quick, run through your memory. In the history of time, have you ever heard of anybody getting a razor blade and an apple? You've never heard of that. This is not a thing. It's made up. It's garbage. Have you ever heard? I mean, someone put a 1 in the chat if you've never heard of it. Put a 2 in the chat if you have. I mean, put 1,000 in the chat if you had. Put 10 million in the chat if you've heard of. If you know someone who ever bit into an apple and there was a razor blade in there. That sounds heinous. It's not true. It's just made up garbage. They put razor blades in apples. What? Who does? Never heard of that. I heard about it as a kid, though. I heard that our parents needed to check our candy to make sure it wasn't poisoned. get it. I get it. I get it. Is there some sicko out there that could poison kids? Yeah, there is. Sad. You going to be able to check that Snickers bar if he went to the lengths to try to kill your kid? How you gonna check that Snickers? I'm just saying. I imagine if he's gonna put poison in candy, he's pretty good at it. You know, he disguised it so that you wouldn't see it. I'm just saying. If you're trying to achieve a goal, what I don't want is dad to find it and spoil my goal. I want to see the front page of the paper, the heinous crime I've done. If that's the sick, twisted, you know what I'm saying? So, oh God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
We're not saying that there isn't a problem with fentanyl in the country, but misrepresenting how it affects your body does nothing to solve the actual problem, like tackling homelessness, closing the wealth gap, combating corporate greed, increasing protection for workers, and countless other policy solutions would do. And as this very recent incident will show you, misinformation about fentanyl exposure is still incredibly powerful in police forces across the country.
I just got really lightheaded. You did? Yeah. Gotta go. Call EMS.
Take it of it. It's not gonna hurt you if it's not it. Talk to me. What do you feel?
I feel really dizzy. I just like being really fast.
After immediately being given Narcan instead of water or anything else to help with lightheadedness or dizziness, the officer relays a symptom that doesn't quite match with someone experiencing a fentanyl overdose, as laid out here by UC Davis Healthcare Center, but rather match something resembling an anxiety or panic attack. A point even echoed by former police chief turned Brown University professor Dr. Brandon Del Pozo, who claims that the fear officers feel of being exposed to fentanyl while on the job is a major driver of misinformation continuing to spread. And speaking of misinformation, a Flagler County sheriff doubled down on blaming the drugs, which did test presumptive positive for fentanyl later, for the officer's condition, and thanked the other officers for administering the Narcan and saving his life. According to an American Society of Evidence-Based Policing study on how officers feel about the dangers of fentanyl exposure, small tweaks to training and a more comprehensive explanation of the dangers of fentanyl can play a massive role in mitigating fear and preventing officer anxiety when handling the drug, as this is just another example of how easily a major problem in our police forces and society as a whole can be solved with proper education.
We just live in this world where cops are scared.